citizens of YouTube, and well met. I am TheJourneyman, and I welcome you once again to the spiraling thoughts that come from my consciousness. Today, I should like to speak a little bit on the topic of disagreement, particularly here on this video forum known as YouTube. As many of you will probably be aware, if you saw my first video, there is a gentleman with whom I share a great respect. That would be the individual user known as Federalist Films, formerly known as Rith Randall. Now, Rith I find to be an intelligent man, well-spoken, educated. However, I have a point of disagreement with him. Yes, it is possible to have respect and friendship and still disagree. Specifically, the point of disagreement that I have with Federalist Films is with regards to his notion, to his belief that political assassinations are a necessary and vital component in achieving political ends. I do not believe this is so. However, I don't believe this is so because I am possessed of a certain belief system. Because I believe that every human life, regardless of how terrible that human being is, has some value. That's the basic reason that I disagree. I'm not a fan of assassination. I'm not a fan of killing anybody if it can be avoided. I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a supporter of violent and aggressive actions when they aren't necessary. And even when they are, I'm not a fan of them. I don't care much for the idea of murder. It's a niggling trait of mine. I don't care for it. I don't agree with it. And I don't support it, much as I don't support the death penalty. I'm sorry, I don't. No matter how heinous a human being is, I personally believe that there must be some redeeming quality, some value to every human life that exists. But this is a personal notion. This is a personally held belief. That is why I disagree with Federalist Films. This does not mean that I'm right or that he's right. Furthermore, he has a more logical and sound explanation for his position than I do. I disagree with him, but I can offer no solid, objective reasoning. My reasoning is subjective. It stems from within. It stems from my own personal held stance. And this is where we come to the point. Explaining your disagreement in civilized fashion. This is not something I see much of here on YouTube, and it is unfortunate. There is very little chance that I will ever persuade Federalist Films to agree with my viewpoint. I accept that. I accept that I probably won't be able to sway him. And I understand and respect his reasoning for his stance. I respect it enough that while I will explain my view and my opinion, I cannot demand, for the sake of friendship and civility, I cannot demand that he change his viewpoint or opinion. That would be arrogant of me. And arrogance is not something that I want to exude upon others. I consider him a well-spoken and thoughtful man. And while I disagree with him, I can understand him. And as I am certain he would understand my viewpoint, but it won't change his mind. However, at least I have offered him an explanation and a look at what compels me to disagree. You see? It's simple. It doesn't have to devolve into ponages or insults. It doesn't have to devolve into flagging campaigns. It doesn't have to devolve into an argument. It doesn't have to, people. I disagree. I have explained my personal reason, and I have accepted and publicly state right now that were I challenged in open format to discuss my reasoning with him one-on-one, I can accept and publicly state that he would destroy my position. And I can accept that I would be publicly shown to have a less solid reasoning and a less logical stance on this issue. I accept that. It won't change my mind, it won't change my stance, but I accept it. That is the difference between being a civil individual towards someone you disagree with and just being a jackass, which is unfortunately the predominant methodology that I have come to see on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Journeyman, and I hope this finds you well. Adieu.